In my last post, I talked of Vincent van Gogh, or however you want to pronounce it. And I spoke something of his religious background and his initial longing to be a minister. In 1875, he wrote these words: "You know what I want. If I may become a clergyman, if I fulfill that position so that my work is equal to that of our father," and of course his father was a minister, "then I shall thank God. I have good hope that I shall succeed. It was once said to me by someone who was further on in life than I, who was no longer stranger in Jerusalem, 'I believe that you are a Christian.' You see, it was so good for me to hear these words. It is good to believe that there is a God who knows what we need better than we know it ourselves, and who helps us when we need help. It's also good to believe that, just as in the olden days, now too, an angel is not far from those who feel godly sorrow. I've carefully read the story of Elijah so often, and so often it has given me strength up till now." Having said that, he also wrote these strange words: "Whenever I tell my pa anything, it's all just I will talk to him, and certainly no less so to ma. And I also find pa and ma's sermons and ideas about God, people, morality, virtue, almost complete nonsense. I read the Bible sometimes, just I sometimes also read Balzac or Eliot, but I see completely different things in the Bible than Pa does. And I can't agree with all that Pa makes of it in his petty academic way." He further said to Theo, his brother, "That God of the clergyman, he is for me as dead as a doornail. But am I an atheist for all that? The clergymen consider me as such. Be it so, but I love. And how could I feel love if I did not live? And if others did not live? And then, if we live, there is something mysterious in that. Now call that God or human nature or whatever you like. But there's something which I cannot define systematically, you like. Though it is very much alive and very real. And see, that is God, or as good as God. To believe in God for me is to feel there is a God, not a dead one or a stuffed one, but a living one who with irresistible force urges us towards love together. And that is my opinion." Quite a number of years ago, Don McLean wrote a very beautiful song that really came out of one of Vincent's paintings. As I looked at Vincent's paintings, it was fascinating to see that whenever he showed the stars or the sun, it was always so alive. In his writings to Theo, he made it clear that he felt that to love nature and to see nature was not a replacement for God. It was an expression of seeing the reality of God. And of course, one of his most famous paintings is Starry, Starry Nights. It's interesting that the great aspects of Vincent's art, his obsession with light, the beauty of the seasons, his obsession with the working poor in the fields or in poor housing, the raggedness and rawness of the human profile and skin in the midst of poverty. Really, it all came from his early days of obsession with Jesus. And that's what's driven me for all of my life, to care for the poor. Vincent inspires me and encourages me with the beauty of his art. But at the end of the day, I know that I get my inspiration to care from the same one as Vincent did, from Jesus. But it's sad that, as he said about the religious leadership of his day, sometimes the clergyman to him was dead as a doornail. But wisely, very wisely, he said, that doesn't make me an atheist. I sometimes think this generation I live in has far less intellectual sense than the one they like to describe as mentally ill, Vincent. For the fact that the church has failed, the fact that the God of formal religion is sometimes as dead as a doornail, gives us no reason to dismiss the inspirational wonder and beauty of the one who inspired Vincent in both his art and also in his passion for the poor, Jesus of Nazareth, who I also follow.